Good morning, students. Today we are going to be going over Chapter 6 tests. So this is the Chapter 6 test corrections if you still need them. All right. Tell whether X and Y show direct variation, inverse variation, or neither. Hopefully you had in your notes a direct variation looks like Y equals mx plus 0, and it has to be 0. Inverse variation looks like X times Y equals K. I could also divide both sides by x and have y equals k over x. So those are my two for inverse variations. That's my direct variation. If it doesn't qualify for either of those, then it would be neither. So if we look right here, y equals x minus 2, well, that would fall under this one, but it has a b value. It has a y-intercept other than 0. So number 1 is neither. Number 2, y equals 3/4 x. So y equals 3/4 x plus 0. So it would be this one. It would be a direct variation. And then here we have xy equals 0.3. And so xy equals a number. So that's an inverse variation. Here we've got a table. And we look, we see we have plus 7. We have plus 3. If there's no direct here, this one is neither. If we look here, 8 times 32 is different than 4 times 16, so it's not going to be inverse. That would be the same one for this. It's not going to be inverse. What would well, 8 times 4, 4 times 4, 2 times 4. So y equals 4x. X times 4 equals y. So that would be a direct variation. All right, number 6, variable x and y vary inversely. Y equals 8 when x equals 2. So write an equation that relates to x, y, then find y when x equals 4. So I'll do that second. So we have an inverse variation, which is x times y equals k. Here we have our y value is 8. Our x value is 2. So we have 2 times 8 is 16. So our k value, x times y equals 16. xy equals 16. Write an equation that relates to xy. So there's our equation that relates to xy. And find y when x is negative 4. So we have xy equals 16. Our x value is going to be negative 4. So we have negative 4 times y equals 16. So divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. We get y equals negative 4. All right. Simplify each rational expression, reduce completely. So if you remember, we have perfect square minus perfect square. So this is x plus 3, x minus 3. So that's what I could factor it out to. The perfect square plus the root, and then the perfect square root minus the square root. And then my numerator, x squared plus 3x, I could pull an x out, and I get x plus 3. And I look, and those two are the same. So I'm left with x over x minus 3. Okay, let's look over here. Number 8, let's reduce completely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify as I go. So 3 divided by 6, I'm left with 1 at the top, and that divided by 3 is 1, that divided by 3 is 2. Y squared times 4y to the 5th over 7y to the 4th. Now what I'm going to do is, let's see, I have, so there's 3 x's up top. Oh, look here, I've got a 4 and a 2. So if I divide both of those by 2, I get 1 on the bottom, and I get 2 up top. So I have 2x to the third, and then I have 2y's and 4y's. So at the bottom, I have 7. The bottom is y to the 6th. Top is y to the 5th. So I have 5y's up top, 6y's on the bottom. So that leaves me with 1y on the bottom. So I have 2x to the third with 7y. All right, let's multiply these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to factor this one out. So I have x squared. And then this is going to be x plus 5x minus 2. On the bottom, I have x minus 2. I'm going to factor an x out of this. I'm left with x plus 2. Let's see, this x squared, I'm going to change it to x times x. Because that's x squared is just x times x. All right, so I have x minus 2, x, x. So I'm left with x times x plus 5 over x plus 2. So x times x plus 5 over x plus 2. Now let's do 10 right here. So the first thing I have to do is I have to multiply by the reciprocal. So I have to flip this. So we got 3x to the third over 7y to the fifth times. So I go from division to times, and then I flip these. So my 21y to the third over 18x. Now I'm going to just do, let's see. Well, this divided by 3 and this divided by 3, I'm left with a 6 and a 1. Divide by 7, I'm left with a 1 and a 3. So I have 1 times 3 is 3. X to the third, y to the third. 1 times 6 is 6. Y to the fifth, x. So can I simplify that? Sure enough, both of these are divisible by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I have 1 half x to the third and x. So there's 1x and 3 x's. So I have x squared. 3 y's and 5 y's. So I have y squared. X squared over 2y squared. Okay. Then number 11. Let's see if we can fit it over here. So I'm going to factor this, and that's going to be x plus 2, x plus 1. Over x squared, so that's a perfect square minus perfect square, so it's x plus 1, x minus 1. And then we're going to multiply because this divides, so we multiply by the reciprocal. So let's flip this over. Actually, I want to factor it over here, and then it'll be easier to flip over. So this is x minus 5, x plus 3. And this one is x minus 5, x plus 2. So this one, I flip them. So this goes to my top. X minus 5, x plus 3, x minus 5, x plus 2. And now I can look and see if there's anything the same. There's x plus 2, x plus 2, x minus 5, x minus 5, x plus 1, x plus 1. So I'm left with x plus 3 over x minus 1. All right, there's the front. Pause it when you need to pause. Check it out. And here we are on to number 12. So here we have subtraction. So what I need is I need a common denominator. Well, I have a common denominator. So I get 2x plus 1 on the bottom. And I have 3x minus 3. And in this subtraction, I have to add the opposite. So add a negative 3x minus 2. Because I'm adding the opposite. 3x minus 3x, well, that's 0. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5, or 2x plus 1. So don't forget, when you're subtracting, you have to add the opposites. Add the opposites. All right, again, we've got the common denominator already, so I'll leave that on the bottom. And then I have 2x plus x plus 3. 2x plus x, that's 3x plus 3 over x plus 1. Now I can actually simplify this, right, because there's a 3 here and a 3 here. So I factor out a 3. I'm left with x plus 1, right, because if I distribute, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 1 is 3. So I'm left with, my answer is 3. And isn't that a lot more simple than that whole thing? 3. Perfect. All right, here, first thing I notice is I have a perfect square minus a perfect square. So this is x plus 2, x minus 2. Now, to get a common denominator, since I'm adding, this one has x plus 2, so now I have to multiply it by x minus 2. Minus 2. So I have 1 times x, 1 times negative 2, so I have x minus 2 over x minus 2, x plus 2, plus 4 over x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay. Common denominator, x plus 2, x minus 2. And then on top, I have x minus 2 plus 4, a negative 2, and a positive 4 would give me x plus 2. Oh, look at that. Simplify. So I'm left with x minus 2 on the bottom. And so what's on the top? Well, it's just a 1. All right. Common denominators. Let's factor this one. I have x plus 7, x plus 2. So I need to multiply this by x plus 2. Okay. Now this top one, we're going to leave it like that. X squared plus x minus 6. And then we have minus, and then we distribute this 8. So we have 8x plus 16. So I have a subtraction, so I have to add the opposite. So I'm adding a negative 8x and a negative 16. So I have x squared minus 7x minus 22 over x plus 7 times x plus 2. All right. I can't simplify this because my factors of 22. I can't get to 11. I can't get to 7. So that's my final answer. X squared minus 7x minus 22 over x plus 7 times x plus 2. All right. Moving on. Solve for x. Be careful of undefined solutions. Some classes I may have emphasized undefined solutions. This class I have not, so we're actually not going to. I will briefly talk about it, but we didn't mark down for that in this test. So how do I solve for x? Well, I cross multiply. 2x times 1 is 2x. 5 times x plus 5, x minus 5, I distribute. So I have 5x minus 25. Minus 5x from both sides. So I have negative 3x equals negative 25. Divided by negative 3. And I have x equals 25 thirds. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to cross multiply. X times x is x squared. And then negative 4x minus 4. I'm going to bring these over, plus 4x. X squared plus 4x equals negative 4. Add this 4 to both sides. X squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. Don't forget to have an equal sign, so I have to maintain that. Can I factor this? Sure enough, I get x plus 2 times x plus 2. So x plus 2 equals 0. X plus 2 equals 0. And it's the same, so I have x equals negative 2. Okay. Well, let's see. How would we deal with this one? We've got a common denominator here. So why don't we go negative 1 over x equals x minus 5 over 6. So since there was already a common denominator, I just combined them. Now I can cross multiply. I get negative 6 equals x squared minus 5x. So add the 6 over here. So you get 0 equals x squared minus 5x plus 6. And so this is x minus 3, x minus 2. Now, a lot of people got x minus 6, x plus 1. But a negative 6 and a positive 1 doesn't equal a positive 6. So don't forget to check and make sure that your factors get you to a positive 6. So negative 2 times negative 3 gets me a positive 6. But a negative 6 and a positive 1 gives me a negative 6, which isn't right. So there it is. So my x equals 3 and x equals 2, right? Because I have to go x minus 3 equals 0. Add the 3 to both sides. X equals 3. So x equals 3 and x equals 2. All right. Number 19, maybe extra credit, may not be. Let's go ahead and solve this one. What we're going to do is, this is a perfect square minus a perfect square. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to make all of the denominators the same. And then we could just do away with it since it's an equals. So this needs an x plus 3. And this needs an x minus 3. All right, so 6x plus 18 equals 8x squared over x plus 3, x minus 3, minus 4x squared minus 12x. Okay, so it's minus this whole thing, right? All right, now we have the same denominator, so we don't need to worry about cross multiplying. We could just go 6x plus 18 equals 8x squared. This is subtract, so I'm going to add the opposite. Minus 4x squared plus 12x. So 8x squared minus 4x squared, so that would be 4x squared. And then let's go ahead and take this 6x off of this side. So I'm left with 18 equals 4x squared plus 6x. Zero equals 4x squared plus 6x minus 18. And then what I could do is, let's factor out 2. So I'm left with that. I want to get this to 0. So I'm going to get my factors of 9 and my factors of 2. And I need to, actually, let's do it right here so I can have my smiley face. So I have 0 equals 2 times, so my 2x, I've got 1 and 2. And then I've got a plus and a minus, so I'm going to have one of these is plus and one is minus. So let's start throwing numbers in. Let's do 3 and 3. So negative 3, positive 3. So I get negative 3, and I get 6. So that gives me a positive 3, boom. There's my answer right there. First try. So 0 equals 2 times 2x minus 3 times x plus 3. And I have 2 x minus 3 equals 0. X plus 3 equals 0. Minus 3. X equals negative 3. 2x equals 3. X equals 3 halves. So x equals 3 halves. X equals negative 3. Now if I look back up here, well, I can't have x equal a negative 3 because that would give me 0 in the denominator. So if you are worried about undefined solutions, the negative 3 is undefined. However, I didn't emphasize that, so we have x equals 3 halves and x equals negative 3. Again, this one gives you an undefined solution. There's your answers. All right, hope that helps.